Hi, everyone. It's me, Naomi. And I tried to come in a little bit earlier. Looks like there's a glare on my face for some reason. But I'm in my office and I'm just doing my little testings just to make sure we are up and at it. Okay, so we just check my systems here. Oh, that would be too bright, huh? Eek. Okay, no. I'm fine with that. Okay, 1 second, just to make sure this is working. And again, as you all know, I apologize. I'm just very of my generation, I would think. Oh, Hazel. How do I do that? And it is. Oh, really? Okay. Just want to see if this is broadcasting correctly. Let me see, is it on here? And this is on StreamYard, so I'm hoping this is connected correctly. Okay, I'm not doing that right. Okay, now I think I am on Facebook. Oh, there we go. I think I am on. Okay, so I think that I am ready to go. And apologize for it's 7 o'clock. Okay. Hey, Kenjo, thanks for watching. Just getting started. And okay, so welcome to our first community reviews session. For those of you who don't know who I am, again, I'm Naomi Blitao Pelatangaleo'o. I'm the Executive Director and Founder of the Education with Purpose Foundation for Pacific Islanders. And I'm starting a series of talks so that I can engage with the community so we can really discuss not just the problems, but the solutions to what we are facing as a community. So I want you guys to just engage, ask questions as we go along. Today's topic is going to be about getting prepared for, let me move this over here, getting ready for the school year, because it is right around the corner. And so let me just put that up there. So as people join, you'll know what the topic is: preparing parents, guardians for and that might be in my title, but just to be sure. So I'm here to help prepare and to answer questions and to offer some advice and solutions to what we will be facing this school year. Now that a lot of us are going to be forced to homeschool, pretty much, you want to look at it that way, to homeschool our children, I think it's very important that we have these discussions so that we can stay ahead of this. Okay, so what I thought I'd do best is, what I thought would be best is to share with you a PowerPoint presentation to really just hit home the key messages, key points of my message. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, let's see. I got this. Hey, Lydia. Hey, Hazel. Glad to have you guys here. Okay, so I'm going to do this like that. And I want to start off our conversation. Again, if you guys, I may have had a chance to look at my talk yesterday. I think one of the important cornerstones of our conversation should be our need to change the stereotypes that we have as Pacific Islanders. We have been moved into this bucket called Asian Pacific Islanders, but I'm here to tell you that our history has been adjusted, changed, modified. So by the time that we reached the United States, America, from our islands in Samoa, for example, we were given an adjusted type of history for our people. And so, hey, Jasmine, thank you for joining. So everyone, thank you so much. I see you coming in, and I'm just going to keep on moving. I know that I get excited when I see everyone come in, and I just want to let you guys know I see you, and just engage with one another. Hi, Ria. And so so that I'll stay focused on what we are here for. Okay. And so again, at the center of it all, our goal as a foundation is to explain to our community that we are Pacific Islanders. We are from an island. Okay, we appreciate everything that our Asian brothers and sisters have gone through, the hundreds of years that they have been here. Yet it is time for us to explain to the world that we are a completely different type of people, culture. And you will see that just in the simple look and review of the grades that we receive, So I'll leave it at that. And so what I want to ask you guys, just to start this off, this topic of getting ready for the school year, is who do we think, if you can go ahead and help and share in the comments, who do we think is responsible for educating our children? So if you guys just share with me some of your thoughts, Hazel, Jasmine, everyone who's here, Ria. Again, who do you think is responsible for educating our children? Okay, that, you know what? And actually, let's put a pin on that for a second. Now that some of us are in, I have another question here. I want to know, so just I can start getting an idea of what grade levels will your children enter this upcoming school year? So let's go ahead and stop sharing that, and let's just talk about what grade levels are we looking to prepare our children for this upcoming year. So if we can all let me know if you know, and even if they're not in your home, how old will they be? Are they going to be in elementary, middle school? Are they younger than kindergarten? Because what I want to do from these talks that we have, I'm going to just extract all of our information and conversation so that I can write down, who has how many children at this grade level, because eventually I'm going to help by giving you materials and resources and information specific to your grade. Obviously you don't want a bunch of information about the kindergartner, right, when your kid is in the 10th grade. So if you guys can share with me in the comments, what grades are your children going to be? I'll just give you guys a few minutes to share with me what grades are we thinking about or preparing for. And again, the school year will be starting in 3 weeks, I believe, and that's not very much time. So I know Hazel, sis, your son will be, I think that's in the 10th grade or the 11th. Everyone else, I'm not quite sure about, but go ahead, just give us a second. I want to just make sure that we're here and ready to discuss and prepare ourselves to get, okay, so you'll be in the 10th grade. So we have a 10th grader. Okay, so, and just right away, as we get the answers from other viewers to come in, second. Okay, so the 10th graders, we definitely need to get prepared, get him prepared for searching for scholarships. Okay, and then we have a second grader, 10th grader, and an infant to toddler. Okay, so in the infant to toddler, and even under the age, and under kindergartner, as infants and toddlers, there's a lot of activities that you can do to ensure that your child is at developmental level, right? When they're at a certain age of, say, 2, they should be, getting better used to potty training and should have so much ability to hear sounds and identify colors, things of that nature. So we are definitely, and that really drives the point home. Thanks, Jasmine. It drives the point home that we are our children's first educators. Okay, even before we send them into kindergarten. Some people don't even do preschool. I think I believe we were in preschool myself. Some who, by the time you get to kindergarten, they're already 5 years old, and so they should already have some cognitive skills already prepared, familiar to them. Okay, so we've got a big age gap, by the way, and they're very young, and then we're getting into those high school years, right? Okay, so that gives me some idea. And now let's get back to the presentation. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, and so what we have here is, who do we think is, who is responsible for educating our children? And if you guys can tell me, how you feel. Is it the school? Is it us at home? And is it the community? Give you a little bit of time to engage with that question. I know as a Samoan growing up, just, in my own family and in our community, I know that we believe that it's their job, right? We send our kids to school. Our job is to get them fed, get them clothed, and out the door on time for the school bell to ring, right? And that's ideal. That is very ideal, right? That's very ideal for us to believe and want the teachers to be responsible for, right? So just want to really discuss that issue in our community when it comes to educating our children, okay? So who we believe is the responsible persons or entity to raise our children, that is a key issue to address, because the way that we're moving now with our kids barely being prepared to move into the workforce with high level jobs and opportunities, they're not, it shows, right? So we need to get them prepared. And so I think a big problem is that we believe that once we get them, and if you agree with me, let me know. If you have a comment, of course, let me know as well, right? And so it's definitely an issue in that who we even think is responsible for educating our children. Okay, and so let's move on to the next slide here. Okay. And so what I believe as far as what is affecting the quality of our education for our students, that there are three entities that are involved. It's not just the schools. It's not just their responsibility, and they're not going to take it whether they want to or not. They're not going to take on the full responsibility to educate our children. It just doesn't happen. And again, the results are there. The proof is there. Our children are not thriving where they're getting all kinds of scholarships or, college opportunities, or, we don't have the funding to give them all of those opportunities to go to whichever college they want to go to, right? And so here are the three entities that are important. Hey, Vince. Hey, bro. These are the three entities that are crucial, and these are the ones that really impact the quality of our students' education. It's the community, it's the home, and then it's the school. But as you'll notice, that the language and the mentality that we have is when we send them to school, that's them. It's their job. It's the teachers, staff. They've got all the books. They've got all the credentials. They went to college. They got certificated or certified as a teacher. So it's their job, right? Home for us. Again, it's our children. We're in our own circle. And then, of course, you have community. Again, it's them. It's the people the bus drivers. It's the librarians, okay? And actually, that is my next slide here. My next slide here is showing the adults, the group of adults that are in these circles, in these 3 points, the home, community, and school. These are the people that are involved in these entities. So we'll talk about the community, right? So let's say home, very simple. Us, parents, guardians, family members, friends, right? Directly related, etc., cousins, uncles, etc. Okay, and our focus is on making sure, again, they're fed, they are disciplined, they say their prayers, they know the Lord, our focus is on different things. What are we going to feed them today? Our focus is on how are we going to pay these bills today, right? That's our focus. And then when we move into the schools, as the schools, you have your teachers, the parents, the principals, staff, coaches, and superintendents, right? And their focus is on, making sure that all the they get their grades, they hit the grades, they have to deal with teacher training, teacher discipline, teacher hiring, hiring of janitors, coaches, all of that. So their focus is on that. And so what does that tell you too? Their attention is divided too as well, as far as educating these thousands of students that are in front of them every single day. So they have a job on their own. And then finally, in the community, you have organizations and community leaders, resources from government and private donors, community members, churches, stores, libraries, the whole nine, everything that's outside of our home. Okay, that's considered the community, which again, let's go back to the first one, is organizations and nonprofit organizations such as ours. We're in that category. And so, but as I mentioned before, I also fit into a home because we have a fifth grader heading to the sixth grade. And hey, Manny, hi. Thanks for joining. And so again, we're really diving into getting our game plan ready because the schools are opening up in literally 3 weeks, I believe. And we'll get to our game plan. So at this moment, we are all I want you guys to really focus on the fact that there's tons of adults, and look what's right in the middle, right? Right in the middle is our students. I don't know if you see my cursor in the, okay, it's just slide. So in the middle, you see in that circle is our students, right? They're depending on us. And so let's see here. Oh, I think I moved the slide, but that's okay. So here we are. So we have all these adults that are in these 3 areas, but we have our different focuses. And so the problem is in regard to the quality of our students' education is that there's a lack of effective relationship between all three. Okay, it's them, it's us, it's them, it's you guys, right? And so we know that is, I've seen that in the many years that I've spent running our after school programs and going into the schools. I've seen it where a lot of students, for example, there was a girl that really wanted to get into computer science or get into a computer class, and she was at Cleveland. And I asked her, well, why don't you just tell your counselor to put you in the computer class that you want? And she says, oh, she doesn't, respond to me. She says, oh, I'll get to it, or there's a wait list, right? So I said, hold on, since I'm here, let me go and talk to her. So I went right into the student's main office, asked for the counselor. She was there. She was eating her lunch. And I said, here, let me have a word with you. So I talked to her. Long story short, she changed the student's schedule right away and put her into that computer class. So that goes to show that the students need our advocacy. That counselor didn't give our student a time of day, but as soon as a parent walked in, I just told her I'm her auntie, right? That's the beauty of our culture. Just go in there and say we're their auntie, right? But she changed it right away. She had no excuses. I told her there's a very few. I know that if you pull up that roster right now, you're not going to see one Samoan in that computer class, are you? And she says, let me look. And there sure wasn't. So we got this young lady into the computer class. And again, it was that relationship. And I said, thank you. I wasn't angry at her, but it was very saddening to see, And so these are the types of methods and strategies and things that we have to do for our children. And it only took 2 minutes out of my day. I didn't even know the student. I just knew she was Samoan and she needed help. She was in the office at the time that I was just getting ready to get some after school programs set up. And so again, if it's happening at that level, at that age in this city, I know it's happening everywhere else, right? So it's that lack of effective relationships that we have between the community, home, and the schools, and we need to fix that. And so, now what I want us to look into is, let's see what our next slide is. Okay, so are there any questions or comments at this time? I still have a few more slides and issues to address that you guys want to talk about, or do you have any questions or comments from the group? If you do, at this moment, just hearing about the three different parts of the three entities that affect the quality of our education. If not, I'll keep going. But again, I want us all to be here to really get something out of this. Okay. And so here we are. We've identified the three entities that really affect the quality of our students' education: home, community, and schools. Okay. So what is the game plan? I put it in 3 phases. Okay. So the first phase that I see is the importance of building the community and the home's relationship. Right now, the school is pretty much on the side burner. We're in the summer. It's the back burner where it's summertime. They're not even in the schools, right? So we have this time and this opportunity to build the relationships between the communities and the home. And so my hope is that as the community, as the home, as parents and guardians, that we are going to start calling our nonprofit organizations. We're going to be talking to our churches, that I ran, that came out, but, talking to our church leaders, talking to community centers and libraries to see what kinds of resources do you have for us. And right now with COVID-19, it really makes it very simple, because now all of us in the community and the world are scrambling for COVID-19 assistance. And so let's grab a hold of those assistance, that assistance, so that we can prepare for this upcoming school year. So my first suggestion is that we all focus on working on those relationships, okay? Talking to the libraries, again, everyone that you see in the community, because they have programs, they have free resources, they have, and they've been given to them by the federal government. Okay, I've said this many times in my talks, is that these resources are from our tax-paying money. Okay, so again, and as you notice, we're starting to shift the conversation. Instead of them, it's now a we. Let's work together, right? Let's see what's out there with the free food boxes and free. Now there are some resources for free school supplies. Again, I've seen some resources. So as we work together, that's the whole point, is when you see something out there, put all hands on deck, put something out there to say, hey, this is a free resource that's out there, boom. And let's use the social media and the technologies. Let me see what Manny's saying. So a lot of parents just found out how hard it is to teach their own kids, but this is how it's supposed to be. We are their first teachers. COVID-19 exposed a lot, myself included. We have to do a better job at home first. Yes. So exactly. So that's our game plan. Manny's right there. He's on point. He gets it. And another factor of that aspect of that is to be okay with saying that. We are very, very proud community, right? But again, I really think that stems from us having to sit at that high standard of the Asian community. I really believe that. I'm going to say that. They think that the world outside of us thinks, oh, they're Asian, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're fine, they have everything together, they're the model minorities. We beg to differ, right? Because show us. And again, if we go back to the history, we can talk about the histories, but please look at that link. Look at the link of that Channel 9 program, and it showed Asians in America, and you will see that we are nowhere in that history. So again, we have to take the reins of our history and have our own narrative to say, no, that's not us. We're not the model minority. That's something that you guys allowed them to have because of the histories of what they went through. Reparations is what I would call it, part of, where I see that came from. But again, we're Pacific Islanders. We just got here. I think I watched a little bit of Big Goose Radio. Shout out to you guys. And you were talking about, I think, Aloki last night. He was saying that they just got here. His family just got here in, I believe, the 60s and 70s. So again, we just got here. My father was the first of the Navy to be drafted. He came here through the Navy. And again, as I mentioned in my research of our history, we got here two ways: religion and military. So one of those two, I promise you're going to find that that's how we all migrated from the island to America. And so back to my point, in that if we start focusing on our relationship with what's going on out there in the communities, I tell you, I promise you, I even got this, I got this, for example, the pamphlet from the library, right? And that was to help us vote. Again, that's an example of the community resources. They have stuff out there for us to use. So here we are now. We claim that now and say, okay, this is my library. This is my material that I need. These are the funds that have been allocated to a nonprofit organization. It's okay. We need to use it. And so just to give you some examples about how we can build the relationships with people in our community as parents. Okay. And so then my next slide, In phase 2, we build community and school relationships. Okay, now that we as parents get, okay, this is what's going out there in the community, I can use that. There's free boxes of food there. I can get the supplies over here. Oh, here is an organization that focuses on helping with preparing PSATs. Okay, here we are, Hazel, to help our 10th graders, 9th graders get ready for that next level of standardized tests to get into college. Okay, so we've got that down. And so the phase 2 is for the community and schools. Okay, so that's myself to make sure that the schools know what we need. Again, so that's something that I'm very excited to work on, so I can ask them tell them what we need as a community so that they can bring out those hot spots. Okay, hot spots, they have free food, tons of resources that they can have. Okay, so that's going to be in phase 2 of our game plan. Okay, and then phase 3, we're going to build the community. Now our square is coming back. There's no we, they, them, nothing. It's all of us. We're all together. Now we're bringing in the home, right? Now that now it's time for the home. As the school starts in a few weeks, we'll have our parents engaging the schools. Okay, long time ago, you couldn't even talk to any teacher. Our report cards got mailed to us, so we can run and hide if we didn't get a good grade and throw it in the garbage and say, oh, I don't know, I didn't have a grade. But now the schools have set up where you can actually go into a portal and see what grades your kids are getting, what grades our kids are earning, any assignments that they have. Okay, so that's what's really exciting about this generation, is that you have that. And so it's been, we've had activities to show parents who had no idea about these portals, that you can start actually talking and communicating with your teachers right away. So once we do that in phase 3, and we have this whole great relationships built, okay, that's when our students are going to thrive, you know. Right? So was I. Oh yeah, we just shoved it away. And then the question Manny was saying, he was a master. I see you guys see the comments, right? It's those times there, we got through them. But now let's use use the technologies so that we can communicate more quickly with our teachers. And especially, again, let's go back to that advocating. When I let my son go to school this year, he came home so sad because he got a red card. He told me the whole story, and I listened to all the facts, and I realized that he was prejudiced against. So I wrote to the teacher, and I asked her, and she had no answer. And so I said, so you need to take that off of his marks, you know, and he's only in the 5th grade, so he's got the little red card. That means that's what's happening to our students at the high school level. They're giving him D's and F's, and off they go, and there's no one there to advocate for them. So using that example, if we use our relationships with the communities, right? So say, for example, you know, say Manny, his son has that problem, because me and Manny already have that relationship. I'm talking as the Education with Purpose Foundation. As a community advocate, I would go into the school and say, hey, you know, Jesse, I'm sure I know them already, right? That's another great thing about a relationship that we have as community organizations to go and have with the schools, because we can be the advocate for the parent, and we have that relationship with them and say, hey, here, you know, John, he's the teacher that Manny's having a problem with his student, with his son or his daughter, his child. But we bring them to the table, and then John will realize, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My bad as a teacher. You know, and Manny has been writing to you. You're not checking your emails. What's up, dude? You know, and he's like, oh man, I just got divorced and da, da, da. You know, we're made up of people. And so it's those relationships that we really have to build, so that who's in the middle? Our students, so that our students are cradled. I always get so that our students have that nest, that network, that support. And so that the parents, you too, we work together, because at the end of the day, who is going to get hurt or who's going to be benefited? Our students, our children, in the middle of us. So that's why it's so crucial that I really, really trust. I'm very optimistic that we as a community, as Pacific Islanders, we as Polynesians, as, Pacifica, we can do this. We can create these relationships, and we're relational, So I also look at it as like with COVID-19, not allowing us to have relationships. Let's have relationships in this regard. Get the phones, get on the phone, talk to the teachers, talk to council members. We'll get into the whole voting and the census and things of that nature, because that too is very crucial. It affects the community's homes and schools, but we'll get into that on another talk. Okay, and so finally, now that we've identified the problem, it's time to create our solutions, our game plans, okay? So this is gonna be the fun part. This is gonna be the part that we can get, strap up our boots and kick butt. Okay, here we go. And so I just wanna make sure I'm not missing out on any questions. Okay, so now that we know the problems, let's focus on the solutions. So now we are on the next slide. And so the next slide, are you prepared for this upcoming school year? And these are the questions. If you guys can screenshot it, or I can also send you the slides. You want to go over for these types of questions. They're very important questions, and you don't have to race to answer them, but these are some things that I really want you guys to take the next 3 weeks, because that's all we have before the schools start opening up, to really think about these crucial questions. What is the first day of school for your student? Does everyone know? If you do know, please comment if you know it now. Okay, so it's trying to just really hit home that it's coming. I don't wear a watch, but the school year is coming. Does anyone know when the first day of school is for your student? I just found out ours is August 27th for our student. So find that out. Okay, give yourself that time so you know how much time you have to prepare. Okay, let's see, Brittany. Hey, Brittany. And that plays a part in a scholar's education, being an advocate for our kids, set examples for them later down the road. Us as parents advocating for them teaches them to advocate for themselves when we're not in arm's reach. Thank you thank you. Definitely, Brittany. Again, very important point. I've seen it so many times, again, because it comes from the mentality that, send you away, you'll be okay. That's another error in thinking for us that we need to change. Here, go to the schools. The teachers will take care of you. Brittany's got it right. I've seen many times where students are afraid to tell their teachers when the parents are like, you're supposed to tell them, speak up. This is not home. This is not the playground. This is our students talking to grown ass adults, excuse me. That's scary. That is not realistic. It's not effective either. So we have to change that and say, no, it is not your job to do that, because it is scary. Yes, stand up for yourself against bullies, don't come home without swinging. No kidding. But to a parent to assume that it's okay for the kid and it's easy for the kid to talk to the teachers, it's not happening. So thank you for bringing that point up. And so again, does everyone, hey Slam, hey bro. So does everyone know? Find that out. Put that down on a chart. Get a notebook. Get something ready. Let's get prepared. We got our game plans going. So the next one is, do you have all the materials? Go to the websites of your schools, because they have the materials noted, and most of us have those. Remember having those in the schools anyhow. So now you're really going to need them, because some of us have gone to school and just take the ones that are extra that are there. But now that the schools aren't there, our supply list ready? Number 3, do you have proper childcare? Is that something crucial, for us? The good thing about our culture is that we are multi-generational, so most of us, but if you guys can share with the group right now, is childcare an issue that you need to figure out? Some of us are still at work. I took some time off, as I mentioned before. Some are still both going to have to go back to work. So is that an issue? Childcare. And then the next one is, are you more concerned about other major issues, right now, so that you can't spend, you don't have time to think about it? But again, what's the alternative? Not be prepared. So you've got to throw that in there. Find out when they're about to start. Find out who is going to watch your children. Again, drop us some notes or inbox us if you need any resources. Again, as a community member, community leader, and organizer, executive director of our foundation, I can go and find those resources. I believe one of our viewers she inboxed me to say that was something that she was wondering about. Does DSHS have grants to help pay for childcare if we decide to send our kids to childcare? By the way, the schools are allowing childcare. I was just there to get the hotspot, and I saw them in the gym. I just have to say, they're just as far apart as you'll see kids out in the playgrounds of our apartment complexes. So again, that's something that you want to look into. Number 4, there's 10 of them. Are you more concerned? Oh, wait, I think there's 7 on here. Number 5, are you confident in helping to teach your child's curriculum? Again, we're going back to Manny, right? So if you're not quite confident because, your child is in the 11th and 12th grade, I don't remember, or some of us don't know, algebra and trigonometry and all that stuff, right? So, but that shouldn't stop us, right? Because now we understand that there are resources in the different, entities. We can go to the community, we can go to the schools and find out, are there tutors? There are one-on-ones that they have. There are some organizations that I know off the top of my head that do offer tutoring, one-on-one tutoring. And so my mom-in-law, for example, she's taking advantage of that. She's a grandma. She's taking care of her daughter's children, and she has a tutor set up through that organization. So I can make sure to send that out to you guys as well for tutoring help. Okay, and then, do you know what type of help you will need during the school year? Okay, again, a lot of people don't realize that internet connection and access is very important. Just the other day, I did post on getting a free hotspot because that gave us some extra bandwidth so that my son can use it for his school. Do you know what type? Okay, So just an example. Okay, and again, drop down anything or ideas that you may think about, whether it's in the comments or in an inbox, and we can get to it. And number 7, do you know how to help to get to find help as parents? And so again, here we are. We build that relationship with our communities. Okay. So, and then finally, let's see, we're at 45. Okay. So we have an activity. Okay. So what I would like to pose as an activity for this group is to create a home environment making education important. If we don't show our kids that we care about education, it's not going to be, it's not going to be important to them, right? And so, and I'm not saying you guys have to bring out all the books and read every single thing for them and program that I think you guys would love. You will see a big difference just by doing 10 minutes a day with your students with this program that I have for you guys to look at. And then, so here we are. So there's 5 of them, or there's 10 things. So what you can do to show your children that education is important to our home put signs everywhere, show them this is the time, 2020, COVID-19, quarantining. This is the time to reinvent ourselves as Pacific Islanders, Polynesians, Pacifica, as a community, as, proud Samoans and Tongans and Fijians and all of us, Micronesians, everyone, that we can show the world that we get it now. And now we're going to make that little pivot. We've got great, great, great aspects of our community. I love being Samoan. We just have to shift a little bit, just pivot. It's like my basketball, into my basketball days, just shift a little bit, just pivot just a little bit, and we'll get that shot right on point, right? So set up a quiet time. So I'll have you guys just read through that when you have a moment, set up regular study time. Just ask them. Again, this only takes 5 minutes, okay? Have the school supplies ready. That's huge. I've learned that a lot. I think you kind of lose your momentum when you got, okay, I want to go do my work, but you spend 5 hours looking for a book and a pen and a paper, and then you're like, right? So just have the school supplies that they need ready. And make it an activity, right? Have your children organize them, put in a little, I use some of these Dollar Tree things, to, where am I? Might be delayed, to organize what goes where, okay? Put some money on it, Manny. Okay. So do that, okay? Make it easy for you guys to just get right to it, okay? They know where to go. Make sure they know what they have to do and can follow instructions, okay? And eliminate distractions, okay? For that hour, put a block of time so that your child knows this is school time, and this is time that I can count on my mom and my dad to just sit down and make sure I understand the instructions, etc. Have all my paperwork, all of my supplies ready. And then the last 6 through 10, review their homework. Okay, just give them that. And if you don't know it, jump on that email, and talk and call the teacher. Say, hey, I don't understand this, or call the tutor that you've been helped set up with the community organization, and they'll be prepared to help you. Say, here, okay, well, just put your kid on the Zoom or on the screen, and I'll show them, right? Because I also know language is an issue, so we can also deal with that as well. Check to see okay, well, you didn't answer that, or you didn't write something down. Then you guys can have that conversation of whether you need to get the tutor back on the phone, or, oh, you know what, you can answer that. And then just maybe they just need that confidence to know that mom and dad said, you can do it. I think you can get an answer for that, say in English, and they just have to say what they felt about the story they read or something, right? Decide, and then you take notes, right? When they turn it into the school, into the teacher, and they get the grade back, then you guys discuss. And then 8, decide what programs and the number of hours they can watch. Oh, okay. Too much unsupervised and unproductive screen time will decrease success. I can hear amens all around everywhere. You guys already understand the problem when it comes to screen time. So just do our best, you guys. I know that's going to be a big thing for us because we're in this generation. We're here, get a phone, go somewhere. Okay, but we've got to kind of, now that summer's over, school's coming, we've got to limit that unsupervised and unproductive screen time. Okay. Number 9, show regular interest in their homework assignments. If you do types of assignments that they have and the conversations that they have, and then number 10, set goals and celebrate achievements as a family, share all your successes as part of your lifestyle. If someone gets a 100%, post it on your walls, or put a board here that shows all their achievements. Again, our whole point is to let our children start realizing that education is important to our home. Okay. And still laughing at Betty's. I thought Vince says you can't shoot. Uh, okay, all in all. And so that is my presentation for today in regard to just getting us going. Okay, I don't want this conversation to stop at this PowerPoint at this time, but do know that these are the types of things that I'm hoping that we all will, buy on, jump on board, be a part of this. I'm just it's just running itself. So God, have your way, do your thing. These are the slides. This is the time that we've shared together, and the stuff that we discussed. And I just, pray. And so I just pray that this is just the beginning, and for us to come together and build those relationships. Okay, again, as a community in the home and the school, if we drive that relationship building with the homes and the community, that's going to be a great, great positive for us to make that shift and that pivot. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed the presentation and discussion. And I'll just pause right there, stop sharing. And yeah, so there you have it. Sun's going down. And again, thank you guys for just taking the time to hear me out and to share your stories. And I look forward to spending more time on discussing this situation, this issue. Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And again, shout out to Big Goose Radio. You guys are tons of fun. I love your enthusiasm and excitement and the platform that you have for our up and coming. And I saw some, some old school royalty there last night. So keep doing your thing, you guys. Again, as a nonprofit organization, we support you guys. I think it's very important that we, show entrepreneurship is alive and well in our community, but we just make sure that we're going about it the right way. Again, anyone out there who needs any advice, I have a degree in political science from Stanford and a master's degree in business. So I'm here for you to pick my brain if you like. And again, let's just get this ball rolling with each other. Okay, if anyone has any questions, thank you for the hearts, everyone. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And I'll just keep doing my best to bring what I can to help support our movement as a community, as a people. I'm about to cry again, but thanks again for watching. And I will see you Monday at 11 for our updates and announcements as a foundation, and for next Wednesday's community review session. Thanks again, you guys. Appreciate you. Bye. Pray for us. We'll pray for you. See you later. Mwah. Bye-bye.